Hello, this is Tom here, and welcome to another repair video. We're looking at one heck of a beaten up iPhone XR. You can't really fully see it. It's just like completely just cracked up to nothing you would ever imagine. Now, what it's needing, from what I can recall, and I've already got it apart, is it needs a battery replacement. Obviously, it needs a pack replacement, and as you can clearly see, it also needs a screen replacement. It's in very rough shape. Why is the earpiece speaker, why is that still connected? Well, I'm not sure you guys can see it from here, but there's a screw that's stuck in here, and I can't get it out for the life of me. It's completely stripped, and it's so hard in there that I can't move it. It will not budge. So I'm stuck. I don't know what else to do. So I am working with what I've got there. What I'm thinking of doing is taking the speaker, the earpiece out, because I still do need to work on, and here the noise starts. I still need to work on this phone. I need to get that back glass off, and I got to put it underneath the laser. And so, I mean, I can't have this screen flopping around in there. I do have it sighted in at a particular height, so yeah, it is what it is. Let's get this camera pointed at my desk, and we can take a look at what I'm going to be doing here. Okay, here we are. Here we have it. So my immediate intention right here is to remove this, and the screen. I'm gonna put the screws right back into the screen itself. I'm gonna just place it right back in there. Hopefully, just taping it will do the trick. So I'm gonna start off first with putting some Kapton tape on. This is just to protect the cameras, and I think it's the spatial sensor, I guess. Okay, so far so good. I'm gonna put one more piece of tape down. Really don't want this going anywhere, not while I'm working on it underneath the laser and cracking away at it, trying to get all the glass out. There, it's about as good as I can do. Alright, so we've got the back off, but you can't really put the back cover back on. Well, I mean, you could, but it's not a good idea at this point. I really should have worked on the battery first before doing this, but it is as it is. So I wanted to go and get in the screen just so I can double check the battery, and I may as well do this part right now, and that is programming the new screen so that it has True Tone. So here's the old screen, as you can see, super beaten up. And you just got to plug in the smaller of the two into your Keon Lee or whatever programmer you are using. There we go. Read it, pop it out, grab the new one. So we've got at this point, I just wanted to make sure I can turn on the phone, and I wanted to double check the battery. I am pretty sure it was at 82%, and I do not have the battery plugged in. Let's plug the battery in. And the battery is at 82%. I was right. Okay. I'm going to take out that Taptic motor. We're doing a battery replacement. Not just any battery replacement, though. You know that iOS 17 is out, and with iOS 17, you cannot, with a third-party battery, you can't get 100% anymore. It's just a complete impossibility. But if the phone has iOS 16 still, 16, let's say .x, whatever version that might be, you can actually get 100%. Now, what I'm wondering about is if I do this battery replacement for this phone, will it retain that new battery percentage of 100%? after the phone has been updated to iOS 17. So after we go about this battery installation, going from iOS 16 to iOS 17 is what we're going to go and try. I'm wondering whether or not it's going to hold on to that battery percentage. If it does, that will be pretty awesome. But there's, to my knowledge, no way to easily downgrade an iPhone to iOS 16 anymore. If that was an option, I would happily do it. If it was, I should say, I'm sure there is a way to do it using unsigned copies and all that. I've tried, actually, and I couldn't figure out a way to do it. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. And I haven't seen anybody else do it. Very frustrating. Alright, we're to the fiddly bit. We gotta go and disassemble this battery. I'm just slicing down the sides. If I can save this shield, I will. I generally can. Works best to apply a little bit of alcohol to get this little guy up. Doesn't require much. And then just carefully lift. Now I'm just going to get to the back here and we can peel this away. If I can manage to salvage this little sticker, I do try to. It's because it is useful to put it back onto the new battery. And I've already split it a little bit, but I still may be able to recover it. If I can't, I can always use some Captain tape. Next, just got to peel this back. It's not so much peeling; you're actually bending. The tabs are underneath, folded up underneath, and then they are spot welded, just like that. I'm gonna have to do this over the garbage. Not a whole lot of those tabs left. Now I just got to grind this off. What I've been doing is I've been taking the bottom of my grinding pen, I've been sticking on flat side down like that, and just grinding it off till it all comes off of the pad. I should be able to use this new iPhone XR battery, and if hopefully everything goes correctly, I should be able to just weld this on, reprogram the old battery to the new battery settings, and it'll be good to go. I always snip these down a little bit, just a little bit, because they're too long. Not by much. Take off maybe about a 1/16 of an inch. That look even? I think that's even. This is going to go right across like this. We're going to have to go and get the, where are you? My spot welder together. I got it on automatic at the moment. Sometimes that works great. Sometimes it completely fails. I think part of it is sometimes I just press too hard. When you press too hard, it's not creating enough of an air gap for it to properly make that spot weld. At least that's my theory. Now at this point, I'm pretty sure it's not perfect. I don't think it's gone all the way through. Now this is a method that I've shown, I think, a couple times on my channel that I use. It may not work for you guys, but it works well for me. I put the one prong on one side, line it up, and then position the other one as good as I can on the other side, and that makes quite a nice spot weld. Feels good. Let's fold it over. Now there's one time I welded these backwards, as in I put the positive on the negative and the negative on the positive. I fried that board. That board was fried. So that's why I put the dot on the other one, just to remind me. Usually if you see this side right here, this side is always positive, at least for the iPhone. I think it's the, at least I can say it for the X series and back, it's always been on the left side of the battery where you've got the little pieces going down like that. Okay, so far so good. Let's reprogram the battery. Now I got a few different devices that can do the reprogramming, but I'm very used to my key only. Here it is. That's an iCopy Plus. Oh, and I'm using the wrong one. I've got the LCD reprogramming chip or daughter board, whatever you want to call this thing. Wrong one. There we go. Correct one. Try that again. It's always a little bit fiddly with this one, I've noticed. It's doing okay right now. It's saying 86 there, even though the battery's at 82%. The battery is very low on juice. So what I'm going to do is I got to reset the model. The model is actually your battery health, and the cycles I need to reset. So I'm just holding down read, And that'll start the cycle reset. So cycles the battery's gone through is now 0, which is proper because this is a brand new battery. It's never been charged before, aside its original test runs inside of the shop. And I'm resetting now the model, which is your battery health. I just got to hold down the button for writing. There. Just got to hold really still. It says 99%. That's not correct. We got to try it again. It should say 100%. 100%. There we go. That's where it's supposed to be. I'm going to give this another read just in case. Wait for this to clear. Perfect. Exactly where it should be. Now I can wrap this up to some degree for testing. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to wrap this like this, test just downwards. And let's connect this up to the phone. Now you know that you've got these bare, so what are we going to do about that? I need to connect the screen first. So with this, you need to make the phone forget. It's got to say, hey, that's an unknown battery. That's not correct. Otherwise, it's just going to scream about the issue with it being the original battery percentage. So it will pop up with the old battery percentage if I do not make it forget the old one. So I'm putting in a battery from another phone. Got to wait for the message to come up. There it is. I'm just going to double check, making sure it's showing in battery. There it is. And then you got to turn off the phone manually. Let's do that. Not manually, but like the proper way. Okay. Next step. One more card. Just like that. And now you want to connect up a cable. You don't want to turn the phone on, although I have done that before. It seems to be okay. I've read that you should always connect the charge cable up to turn it on for this kind of repair. That battery is flat. Okay, so let's get that charged first. There we go. Let's see what it says about that battery now. Battery health, 100%. That's because this is iOS 16. So let's finish getting this phone all together. I'm not going to go and put the adhesive down for the battery until I am 100% sure that everything is good to go for this. I really want to see this working correctly. If I put this all together and I update this to iOS 17 and it still shows it to be the old battery percentage at 82%, that will not be good. It will not be fun trying to get that battery back out. So let's make sure it's good. There is another thing that I should have tested before turning the phone off, is just making sure that the True Tone works. So showing that True Tone works, you see it right down here. If I turn it off, the screen will get a little bit brighter and it will be a little bit of a cooler color. You turn it back on, it gets a little bit of a warmer tone to it. So it is working. So I was going to go and take it all apart, but you know what? Let's do that software update. Let's do it right now. You see that? iOS 17.6.1. We've got 100% battery health. It should still be at 100% battery health after upgrading from iOS 16 to 17. Let's give that a go. Hopefully I won't regret this. Okay, so it has finished the update. And I do also want to restart the phone just to see whether or not it's doing what it's supposed to be. I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to take a look at that battery percentage. What are we at? 100%. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean we're in the clear yet. I'm double checking the iOS 17.6.1. I'm going to shut it down completely. And I'm going to turn it back on. And we're going to hope, absolutely just hope, that it's still at 100%. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't. But it's good for exploring. All right, we're back on. 84% charge. That's good to see. Battery is at 100%. So if there is ever going to be a way where we can downgrade the phone to iOS 16, I have to look for a way to do this. There's got to be a way, even if it's an unsigned software iOS version, and then I could upgrade the phone back up to a supported version, the signed version of the operating system at 17 or whatever it is. That would be amazing if that would do the trick. I can't figure out a way to do that. I have to keep looking. But let's finish getting the rest of this phone together. I am positive now that I can finally get that battery installed fully. Disconnected the battery. Before you can go and get the battery installed, this needs to be flipped back up, and we have to put some adhesive around this just to get it all proper, like, you know. The yellow part comes off. I have a tendency to not take it off because I find that adhesive to be really annoying. But if I want to do this job properly, and I really do want this battery to be really solid, I'm going to take that off. There, you see there's some black adhesive underneath. Next, because we don't have the proper material to go and put around here, I'm going to make myself one. All right, should be good enough. Wrap it in, it'll stick it nice and fast. Now you could put this on as well. There we go. And now you just push this back up. And there we go. Looks very clean. A lot of times these don't fit properly after you're done all this, and I end up leaving it behind. Oh, finally, let's get this little guy on. What I like to do is I start off with it looking like this side right here, and I line it up top. That was not what I wanted to do. This is not going to look as clean as it normally would. It's just not fitting as well as I'd like. I'm going to remove it. The Captain tape is going to be enough of a protection regardless. That stuff's thick, so it should be fine. That is going to be good and solid. That should be fine. Now we already know that this is going to be perfectly good. It's not going to have any problems. It already has 100%, so we can put some adhesive on. Now I don't understand why, but this particular batch of batteries that I got from my supplier did not provide any adhesive for the battery. It's a bit of a rarity, so I got to put in my own. This stuff's really strong though. This is the same stuff that's usually what I use for screens, to install Android screens. It's extremely sticky. That should be enough adhesive. Let's peel off that backing, and we should be good to go to install that battery. Always connect in your battery first before putting the battery in. You want it to fit correctly. It would be terrible if you got everything installed and it doesn't line up, and then you really got to struggle to get it to fit, and then eventually you may end up just having to take the battery back out and try again. You don't want that. Now all I gotta do is put my glue on down here. I have a new back glass that's right here. Let's do that. Well, I got that all done. So let's get the screen back out. Now, because this screen doesn't have any adhesive, this should be really easy to get out. I should just be able to stick a blade down here and just pry it up. Just like that. I'm just sticking a nail in there. Can use a pick to get that open very quickly. There we go. Put this right up beside here. Can line it up. And let's get this in. It's a good thing that this cable is so darn long. Makes life a lot easier. Okay, that's in. Now the part that's going to be really annoying is getting this little guy in. It's so tiny. It hooks onto a little tiny piece of metal right here. If I'm lucky, it'll just immediately go right in. Did it? I think it did. Oh, wow. I really did get lucky there. You gotta just toss the screws in for that, and I should be good to go. The bottom left screw, it's always the longest of the 4 screws that go into this. So if you get a little bit confused about which screw goes where, just keep that in mind. It's this one right here. The longest screw, it always goes right there. All right, that is good. It's doing what it's supposed to be. I'm gonna put the screws back into that shield. I don't even think I can get this back in. I'd taken it out, and I really shouldn't have. This little guy here, it's basically just a ground plate, but they've got a lot of extra ones for this, so it's generally not the biggest deal if it's missing. In fact, a lot of times they're broken. So can I get it in? Maybe. It looks like I got it in. Yeah, sweet. Now let's just connect this back up. Oh, no, I've made a mistake here. You see, I gotta put the adhesive still in place into this. This is gonna be really annoying. You see my problem, right? I have an idea. You see that little guy right there? I'm gonna take my scissors and I am gonna make a place for that cable. And so I'll just have to chop through like right here. And take a chunk out of this right here. Is that enough? I was intending to put this on first before putting the screen back in, like connecting this the earpiece to the screen and all that. Whatever. This is not going to work as well, but already I'm a little annoyed. I think this is working though. I think I'm gonna have to move the screen out of the way a little bit more. It worked. Okay. I can peel this up. Let's get that final one in. There. Okay. Seal's in place. Nice. Okay, finally, let's connect the screen up properly. We got to put some shields still in. And before we fully shut the phone up, it's always a really good idea to do a final test of the phone. Okay, final test. We've got all our screws in. What do we see in here? Any problems? Battery, 100% as it should be. iOS 17.6.1. Okay, we can put the phone back together. Very nice. Let's just put our penelope screws in on the bottom. Let's see these little guys right here. And while I don't generally do this for an iPhone, just screen and battery replacement, there is something that I would like to check, is the charge port. I just want to see if it's dirty. It's a little bit dirty, it's not bad. There's some sort of material that I'm not familiar seeing inside, and it looks like it's a piece of metal. That's not good to see. I'm glad that I went in there. There's more metal in there. What the heck? The back of the plate, it's all made out of plastic, except the pins themselves. There should never be any metal in that charge port. I wish I had checked that earlier with the battery disconnected, because that is disturbing. Okay, I think I got that out. It looks like it's like aluminum foil or something. Can't really tell, but yeah, maybe aluminum foil. I'm a little bit concerned after saying that. So for one last thing that I'd like to do before we wrap things up here is I'm going to go and give that charge port a test. I just wanted to make sure that it is doing exactly what it's supposed to be and that it's got a charge reading that is good. Okay, let's see what it says. Well, it went up to 450 amp draw. It's sitting around 39, 390. That's because it's so close to being a full battery. See, it's at 88%. It's basically slow charging right now, which is what it should be doing. Great. Okay, the charge port's fine. I'm happy to have done that. That is very important. The screen is showing quite clearly also that it is working perfectly fine. That's great to see. Okay, my worries alleviated. That's really all there is for this video. Excellent. Just looks beautiful how cleaned up it went from severely busted, this cruel looking poor thing in such rough shape. Thank you guys all for watching. If you liked the video, please do leave a like, and if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.